All right, so it looks like we have a good number of attendees so far, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And since we're recording, we'll be able to share this with anybody that joins late. With us today, we have Eric Vargas, CEO of Followup CRM. So I am Maggie Britt, Director of Partnerships here at eSUB. My goal is to find software that is budget friendly for our trade contractors, but also trade contractor specific. And so we get a lot of questions about, are we an estimating tool? Are we a CRM? What else do we integrate with? So that's really, where Eric and I started discussing, because, I wanted to prevent our customer base from investing in a solution that wasn't specific to their business, but also might be overkill. So really just my goal is to protect your IT budget. Allow for a trade contractor specific solution, but also help you win more business and continue to grow your company. So thank you for being an eSUB customer year to date. We do appreciate you. And I'll hand over the floor to Eric Vargas. So.
All righty. Can you hear me okay? I'm going to share my screen and make sure we're good there. Good?
Yes, we are good.
Perfect. All righty. Super excited to be sharing with you guys today. Want to give you a little bit about background about Followup CRM, how we started. Right here, this guy with the red hair, the Jerry curls, or whatever you want to call it. That's Greg Wallach, CEO of Best Roofing. They are a $60 million commercial roofing company based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And he was the founder of Followup CRM. And he built the system for himself back in the day, about 2008. And we have a little bit, about our story here. He was frustrated because he was looking at different CRM systems out there, and none were really built for the construction industry. You might have heard of something like Salesforce or Pipedrive, or there's a million CRMs out there. But it was kind of like fitting a square peg in a round hole, and also they're super expensive, and they just didn't speak the construction industry language. So he built one for himself, and that's he did that because his data was all over the place. Everyone was using spreadsheets or paper. Nothing was in one spot. And he needed a way to get a hold of his company information so that he can start to, number one, track, then monitor and report on his team to make sure, they were winning projects. So from there, he built, Followup CRM to be super user-friendly, easy to set up, and help automate a lot of the day-to-day tasks that a lot of our sales team or project management teams are doing, so that you could get more time back in your day. So we have a great Outlook integration where you can track emails. I'll show you guys that a little bit here. You'll see beautiful dashboards and metrics, so you can see where everything stands at a glance. You can automate your follow-up emails. Let's say you're bidding a project and you're just checking in once a month. You can set a contact into an automated drip email that just sends up a quick, friendly follow-up once a month, so that you can make sure nothing's falling through the cracks. We integrate with a lot of the software you might already use. That's why we're here today, because eSUB's a great partner of ours. And at the end of the day, we're trying to give you hours back in your day, so that you don't have to focus on keeping your systems up to date or data entry and things like that, so that you can concentrate on winning more projects and helping your customers out the most. So that's a little bit of background. Before I hop into the system, if there's any questions, please post in the chat. I'll just be monitoring that as I'm going through the system. And then from there, we could talk about next steps if you're interested in learning more. So this is Best Roofing's live system. I'm logged in as the owner. You can see here Greg Wallach right there. And this is that 10,000 foot view of what's going on at his company. Let's say I just wanted to see, hey, well, what's going on, last quarter? How did we do? And so I could come here and just look at what's going on. So here you can see that I'm filtering by a sales guy. His name's Norman, and he has 200 opportunities in the pipeline. You can see his closing ratio. You can see how many contracts he won last quarter against his quota, how many bids he put out there, and his activity. So this gives you a good pulse. Norman, he got almost 260% of his quota. Let's just call it 260. It's 259.99. So Norman's doing really great. Now, Norman is one of 15 different salespeople at Best Roofing. And so let's say Greg just wants to roll this up all into one company view. He can switch his filter, and then it rolls every one up into one view so that you can see how's the company doing as a whole, right? So you can see all the company's bids right here. You can see the closing ratio. You can see last quarter, you know, they crushed it, so that you can see, you know, where you're at and make sure you're hitting your revenue goals for the year. So this is the end result. This is really why people come to Followup, because we simplify their reporting and we give them visibility as to what's going on. You know, they don't worry about, is Norman doing what he's supposed to be doing every day, right? They just look at Followup and they say, yep, looks like Norman's doing what he's supposed to do, right? So now that we see the end result, I want to start in the beginning. How do you get an opportunity into the system? How do you manage it through your sales process? And what does it look like using Followup day to day? So number one, let's say somebody gives you a call for a service or a project, or someone requests a quote to bid. You can come here and click on new project. The new project area, this is where you come and enter the project information. We could also take this from Outlook. So you have your project name, you have your address, you start typing that in, it automatically populates. You enter your contact information in right there. If it's a customer that you have previously worked with in the past, you'll see the Followup AI start to suggest contacts for you. And that's it. So that's how you enter in a new project. And here are different details about the project. So you have the status of the job, you have you know, where the opportunity came from, you have the products and service that were offered, right? And then you have all your activity, right? So here they can follow up, they can set up a client meeting, different things like that, so that you can see you know, what's going on with this project and what's the next action that the salesperson needs to take at the company, right? Or with the customer. So once you save your project, you can see here all the different tabs and action items that you can do within the system. The project tab is where all of your projects live, and you can sort, filter, search, get organized. And you know, right now we're looking at just all the projects that are most recently updated within the system, the status. But you know, you can see here we have all the different account managers. You know, I'm logged in as Greg Wallach. I don't want to see everybody's project. I just want to see my projects. So here we have a filter that says my project, and you'll see now it filters out to everybody in my name. And then you say, you know, I only want to see the projects that are hot, that are about to close. I want to be on top of those. So now I'm looking at my hot projects. You can see new leads. You can create whatever kind of filter and view that you want, so you can quickly get to the things that you need to get to, right? So I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to clear the search actually. And let's just actually open up this project here. So this is a test project that we have within the system. You can see the status of the job. Well, actually, let's go to a project here that is going to be, you know, something that they're about to close. Why don't we do that? So we're going to go to these 38 bids because the sales team has said, you know, we're going to get this deal this month. And we're going to look at this Bayside Village $1 million project right here. We're going to learn a little bit about what's going on with that. Okay, so Bayside Village, Alex Dans is the contact. They estimate this contract to close in 30 days. The account manager is Casey Fletcher. This is a re-roof at a condo. they have a follow-up scheduled for today. And so Casey is going to be notified that, hey, it's time to follow up with Alex. And when it's time to follow up with Alex, all you have to do is click on this email icon. And that's where our integration with Outlook or Gmail comes into play. And you can email Alex right here. You can see this is just my normal Outlook email. Now, when I send this off, we're tracking this email in the background. So we'll take a copy of this email and we'll put it in the notes section so that you can see what's going on with the project. Here, you can see there's an email that was sent out. All replies are also captured and saved for your record. So you can see there's a couple of different people at this company working together on these projects, right? You could add notes, whatever it is regarding this project, we're going to track that information in this area. So everything is in one spot, right? Now I want to see, okay, my documents associated with the project. I can come here, I can take a look. Looks like there's some pictures there. There's some PDFs, there's some documents, your proposals. All you have to do to drag and drop the documents associated with this project right here, and it stores it in one spot. We also have a mobile app. So these pictures that you see, you can just upload it straight from your phone so that all your photos are in one spot. Everything related to the project is going to be right here so that you can work together as a team and not have to chase everybody down. Hey, you know what, Casey, can you send me this information? Can you send me these photos, right? Everything's in one spot. So let's say Alex says, hey, you know, it's time to follow up with me next week. So all you have to do is change your follow-up date. And now all these activities that you have scheduled, they go to your dashboard. And the dashboard is the place that you go to so that you can see as an individual, what do I need to get done for the day, right? And so Norman, he comes in and he says, okay, look, I got 35 follow-ups and here are my projects that I have to follow up with, right? So I'm looking at this. I'm going to look at Toro Engineering because this project is hot. I'm going to follow up with them. I'm going to take my notes. I'm going to move this project along through the sales cycle. But maybe Tommy finally got back to me and says, hey, we're ready to get the ball rolling. All you have to do is update your sales status to a contract. And then all your reports, your graphs and charts are all updated automatically. And then they're moving on to win the next project. So that's how you're managing project, the details of the project within the system, things like that. So a couple of other things that people really like about the system is that we house all your companies and your contacts. I talked about the project. Now I want to take a step up and look at companies. So let's say you're bidding to GCs, or maybe you are a GC, or maybe there's a customer that you work with pretty often. That's the case with Best Roofing and Macy's. They bid to them quite often. So if you open up the customer Macy's, you can see here, you know, information about Macy's. You can see that they have 18 jobs open with them that they have not made a decision on, but they quoted. You can see that 5 of those are hot, and you can see your closing ratio with them. So this is a good customer. They close at a 92%. You better believe that if a request from Macy's comes in, this is going to be one of the first ones that they're going to estimate because they know they win 92% of the jobs associated with this company. Now here you could take notes, you could do related companies, and then here are all the related projects associated with that company right there. Now here on the right-hand side, we have our contacts related to the company. Let's say, you know, okay, this is great. I'm looking at Macy's, but I want to see, you know, Charles at Macy's. How do I do with him? I can look at Charles, his information. I could see, oh, I have no jobs open with him. Maybe I need to reach out. Why? Because I have 100% closing ratio with him. I've won 6 out of 6 bids. Let's see if he has anything for me. This is a guy that you definitely want to work with so that, you know, you can develop more opportunities there. I can take notes on him. I can see all my associated projects. I can see my emails to him. Here's how you set, you know, a sequence or an automated follow-up email. You can add a template. You can say, hey, I want to send this template out in, you know, 2 weeks, and it will send it for you automatically. Let's say, hey, I want to take Charles out. You know, I want to make sure I'm following up with him once a month. I can schedule that right here. You can add custom activities. I have people tracking birthdays or hockey games that they're taking their contacts out to so they can really do that business development type of activities, right? So all of that rolls up into your reporting. Like I said in the beginning of the call, Followup exists to really simplify your reporting and so that you can get the insights you need to better run your company. Now, I'm going to pull one contracts report for the last 7 days. Here, you can schedule these reports so that they're automatically sent to you, or we can just get it right now. And you can do an Excel or a PDF. And we're just going to pull up a report to see, how did they do last week? So just going to open this up and we'll zoom in a little bit. Now, the neat thing about this report, you can see a couple of things: the bid date, the contract date, the sales cycle date. This is where Followup really starts to show its value. So here you can see this job took 273 days from initial getting it into the system to close, right? This is a $250,000 job, 25% gross margin. Most companies out there are not following up with these kinds of opportunities, right? They're following up occasionally, but Followup helps you make sure that you can follow up once a month or every 2 weeks so that you're building relationships with these customers, right? You can see some of them are closed same day, probably a service opportunity. Yes, it is. You can see here, 600 days. Who's following up for 2 years with a project, right? Maybe for $1 million project, but not really for a $300,000 project. These are the kinds of jobs that will slip through the cracks if you don't have follow-up helping you, reminding you to follow up with these opportunities. So, a great example here, in South Florida, Greg was telling me how he won the Trump building in Doral, with a nice golf course. And he bid that project. It was a $3.5 million project, and he bid it and was following up for 3 years. And he was the highest bidder, actually. And once he was awarded the job, he asked the property manager, he said, "Hey, why did you guys choose us?" And he's like, "Well, it's pretty simple. After the first year, you guys were the only ones following up with us. And I know if you're doing this much attentiveness and detail in the bidding and sales process, then you're going to be great when you're putting that new roof onto the building." And he's right. So it's all about the details. So that's a great story that I love to tell, because that's a $3.5 million project. Took 3 years, but they made a lot of margin off that project. So if I scroll down, you'll see some other details like, the sales cycle average is 50 days. You get a breakdown by account manager, by estimator. This is just one report. We have dozens and dozens of reports that you can slice and dice so that you can get the information that you want to get. So that is the high level overview of Followup CRM. I know we have quite a few people here, so I want to open up the chat for any questions. I know I didn't take that much time, honestly, because it's very simple and easy to use. It should be, if it's not simple and easy to use, nobody uses it. You know what I mean? So let me know if you have any questions in the chat. Happy to answer any of those. You see any questions here?
Nothing yet.
The Q&A, there we go. Or if you would like me to review anything else within the system, happy to do that. How do you do this or that? What is the cost? Good question. So here is the pricing. Everything that I just shared with you today would be in our starter package. So $75 a month per user. So basically, if you have 5 users, it's like $375 a month, something like that. So really straightforward when it comes to that. if you're interested, you can see here, followupcrm.com. You can get started now and request a demo. We can talk more one-on-one about follow-up. What is customizable? How can we get follow-up to fit into my process? A lot of what you saw here today is customizable and will fit around your process. You don't have to fit around our process. So. What else?
Well, so what we'd like to share, Eric, your information in case they want to reach out to you with additional questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, well, number one, I will see here. Post it in the chat here for anybody that wants to reach out directly. Is there an integration with the eSUB? So eSUB and Followup CRM both have a partner that we use called Rivet. So Rivet is a third-party integration tool that we both integrate, so we can do an integration together.
And for those customers that are aware of eSUB 2.0, once that API opens up, it'll be a lot faster for us to build integrations to more partners. So if you have any construction software that you use today and you'd like to see some type of partnership with eSUB, or you just like to recommend it as something that I can share with the rest of our customers, feel free to send it my way as well. And I'll put my email in the chat for you guys. I guess another good statement would be is we do have mutual customers today that are leveraging eSUB and Followup.
Yeah. And the great thing about our partnership with eSUB is we don't do anything that they do, and you guys don't do what we do. So together, we're coming to the market really joint. So adding value to both of our customer base. So that's why I'm excited about this partnership.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions?
All right, so we'll follow up with sending the recording over. Is there an, we already answered that question. Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody.
All righty. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you, Eric. Bye-bye.